Wow, that was good.
So fun.
Rex, I hope you weren't on your phone the entire time.
I was considering to open my camera like this and be like, oh, what? Oh. I was like, no, I can't do that. I was going to start off by saying I like your record collection in the background there. But
Thanks, Rex. I love music, so it's a big part of my life. So
you got a guitar. I have a guitar back here.
Nice, yeah,
beautiful.
I like the Tears for Fears. That's a really good album. But you also got Run DMC.
Songs from the Big Chair. Yeah, I love that one.
My favorite song all time is "Everybody Wants to Rule the World."
It's a great one. It's a great song.
That song will get me in a good mood no matter what.
That's great.
Favorite. I want to say I really related to your Montana experience because I had this vacation that I went on years and years ago that was like completely disconnected. There was no phone, no internet, cell phones wouldn't work. It was just a small lake in North Carolina with a couple friends. And it was so amazing to be so disconnected and just have good moments and just not be distracted by whatever else was going on in the world. There was no news, no nothing. And it was just an incredible experience that I cherish that vacation, and I'm always trying to recreate it when I go on other vacations. So I totally relate to that.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it totally kills FOMO. There's not even an ounce of FOMO. It reminds me of this great Tolstoy short story where he talks about the most important time is right now, and the most important people are the ones right in front of you. And so, Tolstoy was dishing on this great idea about living in the moment years ago in his beautiful writing. So it's universal. That feeling and that truth is I think it's just part of the human story.
It's interesting how things like that echo through history, and the more things change, the more they stay the same, kind of thing. Totally have the same problems. Dave likens to say the best thing you can give somebody is your attention. And I think it's kind of a riff on that too. I often remember that when I
love that, Dave. Yeah,
want to put my phone down and give you my attention. So this is a great topic. I like what you said about. I heard this said on another podcast with Jordan Peterson about how you give up bad habits so you find a better one. Mm-hmm. And you were saying like getting off of the social media and you got to find something better to do. Or it kind of reassess your values a little bit. And
I think that's big. I mean, I can't say enough that, we were meant to create, and the phones kill they turn us more into consumers than creators. And so we were meant to create. And so sometimes it does take, I forgot how to create. Maybe it's been years or months or whatever since I last created. And that is a big part where you need to learn how to create again. And that can be hard for people, but that's a big, important task that, all of us were meant to create. We are creative species. No other animal does anything remotely close to the amount of creativity that we have. And so sometimes it is just learning how to, how am I going to create? Am I going to draw again? I used to draw. Maybe I haven't done that in years. Am I capable of doing that again? And so there is kind of finding that confidence to go out and create and do cool things rather than just consume something on a tiny digital screen.
Well, we are made in the image of God, both mind, body, and spirit. And he shared that power of creation with us. So I totally agree
That's right.
with that assessment. Talking about social media, a lot of what I've discovered is I'll see things on there and I've realized, oh, this is engagement farming. This person's posting or sharing something because they want to strike people emotionally and then cash in on all the comments. They don't care about truth or anything. And that's such a manipulative tactic.
Yeah.
And just recognizing that has helped me a lot to be like, I'm not going to comment on that. I'm not going to share that. I'm not going to talk about that. It's not edifying or creative in any way.
Yeah.
I really, this is a great topic. I mean, I'm going to sit here and I know I'm singing, I'm the choir singing to the preacher here.
Well, no, but I think I appreciate that, Rex. I think, when I first quit social media 15 or 14 years ago, I thought I was committing social suicide. It was super scary. And I think a lot of people have that thought. They're like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm not going to get invited to parties anymore. I'm going to lose touch with all my friends. Like, Facebook and social media has done such a good job about making this feel like, this is how we have friends today.
You're out of the tribe. You're out of the club if you're not a part of this.
You're exactly right. So it is very powerful, but I'm here to tell you, I have more friends than ever before, more meaningful relationships, 14 years later. And it's just fantastic. And it can be done. And I mean, you got to think too, I think I just saw the latest stat is like about 50 to 60% of America is on social media. How are the other, if that's true, how are the other half or 40% of America having friends and a rich life?
How are they living?
Exactly. So, I mean, so again, you got to think about it. I know that can be really scary for a lot of people, but I've talked to a lot of people that have come up to me that have read my book or like, I quit social media for good. And it's been amazing these last 6 months or several years. And so it can be done. If you're skeptical, I understand that skepticism. But, if the last 15 years of my life is any indication, it is a very enriching and fulfilling life off of social media. And if you use social media for professional reasons, I get that too. And I think that can be, I think that's a tough thing. Like I have a friend that he's been off, individual social media, I call it, or personal social media for many years. He was a big fan of my book and he's just a great friend. But a couple of years ago, I was like, I want to start for my business to do more social media marketing. It's a very big thing to do. Mm-hmm. He did it and he got sucked in and he quit it a second time from his professional account because, again, Silicon Valley is so good. They don't want you to create boundaries with social media. They want it pervasive. They want it all in your life. And so even if you're trying to use it for a specific, function like promoting or marketing a business, they are so good at wrapping you in that it's just something you have to be incredibly cautious with if you do decide to go down that route. So,
wow.
Yeah, they really exploit our ego and our
totally.
But yeah, people are like, oh, did somebody like this? Did somebody like that? Did I get a comment? I mean, I do that too all the time.
So I'm curious though, with living heads up, are you on social media, Blake?
I'm not. We've made the conscious decision that right now we're not gonna use it. I mean, we may do some advertising, but in terms of setting up account, getting involved, engaging people, following people, to me, that is the really problematic part of all this. That it just, like you said, Rex, and so many people have told me this, where you shouldn't be thinking about. Can you imagine if everything I said right now, I'm like, oh, did Liz like that? Did Rex like that? Did Dave like that? I mean, that's just no way to live. And yet that is what social media, this digital.
That's the perfect analogy right there.
It's just it's not healthy. And so,
Dave, we should make a commercial like that where a person's like, did you like what I said? Did I get a comment?
Do you like that? Can I get a heart? Do you like that? Can you follow me? Like, it's really needy and bizarre. And that's what social media has kind of, I think, made somewhat acceptable. But deep down, that's just not how healthy relationships work. There's no such thing as, I mean, Dave, I like you. Are you a best friend? Sure. Would I hit a best friend button today after seeing you? I don't know. It's just it's just a bizarre way of treating relationships. And so,
you've totally unmasked it right there, Blake. That's perfect to imagine that. I like how you said we went from looking up to the skies, to the moon, to the heavens, to now looking down at our phones, to below. And down, and just being, and it's really about being self-focused and like narcissistic in a way. That was a great analogy. Like, we've lost a good bit by changing our perspective from up to down.
It's sad how, it's sad. I mean, it really is. But again, I think there's some good signs that times are changing. There are some good ways. I mean, I've seen some of my kids. I mean, they talk about, even in high school and junior high, there's a lot of kids on phones. So I'm not saying that they've cured it by any stretch, because they're dealing with the same default settings that phones ship with, that are very manipulative and sneaky and, want us to live heads down. So they have our eyeballs and advertising dollars. But I think there is kind of this counterculture wave, just like Dave, you said, your son noticed that grandpa. That's good. And so that'll get us to a better spot, I think, as a community, as a society, as a species, as a people. So there are some good things, I think, coming of this. And even just a discussion like this, just talking about it, raising awareness, spreading the message, making people aware of how these are affecting our relationships and our creativity is, I think, very important.
Mm-hmm. Is there a way to use this technology in an edifying manner?
Yes. Oh, yes. I love what Dave said earlier about just texting someone. I'm a big advocate of that, calling them, texting them. So on a one-on-one basis, it's great, very powerful technology. It's just not this kind of, if we can get off social media and just get on this one-on-one, you can reach out and connect on so many levels. There's times, Rex, where if I've got some big news, I'll just sit there and text 20 or 30 of my best friends. And then all these messages come flooding in and it's one-on-one and it's enriching. And I'm like, I feel alive and I feel loved and I feel empowered. I'm more of an extrovert, so I get that kind of energy. But yes, Rex, the answer is, I think, a decisive yes. I think these are very powerful tools that when used properly with great boundaries and it's just, we can do so much more in less time. It increases our efficiency. It can even increase our creativity if we use it in the right way. So yes, I never want to be classified as an anti-technologist that is advocating, go live in the mountains and become a prepper and doom and gloom. I am not about that at all. But yeah, it's the most powerful technology. You guys have all heard this, but it's pretty miraculous to think that these little tiny devices in our pocket are more powerful than the technology in a room full of mainframes it took to send someone to the moon. It's just that is what we're dealing with here. And that type of power is easily abused. And the onus is on us, to really rein that in. And you're right. You mentioned, Rex, about ego. That's really what it boils down to, that it really, I think, I want to think oh, look at all these fake friends I have that like and follow me. I feel so good, but why do I feel so sad? Why isn't this enriching? Because it's not a real in-person offline relationship.
It's a lot of hot air in your balloon.
Yeah, it is a lot of hot air in your balloon. And so, yeah, the big message is invest in, I would argue, what I would call real in-person or face-to-face relationships like this. This is a great technology, Rex, to answer your question. This is amazing technology. We can be all over the state of Utah and have what I feel like has been a really great, empowering discussion. So yes, technology can be incredibly edifying when used in the right way.
Excellent.
Nice. Yep. I logged on and log off. I just want you to know. Just got it.
Liz, thanks so much. Please let me know your thoughts. I'd love to know your thoughts on it.
I'm going to do a segment on Studio 5 on logging off.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Liz goes on Channel 5.
I'll be in touch. I'll be in touch with you.
Thanks, Liz. I'll look forward to it.
Thanks for joining us today. Hey, do us a favor and take a second to subscribe to our podcast and the Utah Marriage Commission YouTube channel at Utah Marriage Commission, where you can watch this and every episode of the show. Be sure to smash the like button, leave a comment, and share this episode with a friend. You can also follow and interact with us on Instagram at Stronger Marriage Life and Facebook at Stronger Marriage. So be sure to share with us which topics you loved or which guests we should have on the show next. If you want even more resources to improve your marriage or relationship connection, visit strongermarriage.org, where you'll find free workshops, e-courses, in-depth webinars, relationship surveys, and more. Each episode of Stronger Marriage Connection is hosted and sponsored by the Utah Marriage Commission at Utah State University. And finally, a big thanks to our producer, Rex Polanis, and the team at Utah State University, and you, our audience. You make this show possible. The opinions, findings, conclusions, and recommendations expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views of the Utah Marriage Commission.